call a future talk. It's basically sort of a roundtable discussion in which we kind of bat around ideas. Certainly you're going to be the focal point, and we want to really hear from you on whatever subjects kind of you get sparked by in the course of conversation.
No problem.
And then we'll just kind of run with it and see how it goes.
Something that I would like to say is that I think we get more emails, and have done over the 3 years that we've been going, asking us to interview you and wondering if there's some weird reason why we haven't.
Never got together. But here we are. It's all synchronistic in the end.
Absolutely. And so we're here in Sedona, and you're here, and it was great that we were able to connect with you.
Great.
So where we want to go with this is, we have whistleblowers, and I'm curious, have you got your own sort of secret sources that have been giving you information through the years?
No. What happened to me is I had an extraordinary experience, or series of experiences, in the early 1990s. I was a television presenter and a national spokesman for the British Green Party. And suddenly I felt, over 1989, that there was a presence in the room whenever I was alone. And it became more and more tangible as 1989 unfolded. It was bizarre, really, because the Green Party in Britain had their biggest electoral year in 1989 at European elections, and I was going through all this while whenever I was in a room alone, like a hotel room or something, there was this presence, you know. And eventually it got so powerful towards the end of '89 that I was sitting on the side of a bed in a hotel called the Kensington Hilton in London, just down from the BBC headquarters. And I said to this apparently empty room, look, if there's something there, would you please contact me, because you'll drive me up the wall. About 2 weeks later, it must have been, I'm with my son, he was a little boy then, he's a singer-songwriter now, in mid-20s.
6'4". Right.
Yeah, this is Gaz and Gareth, and we were playing football, and we were going to go down to the town to get some lunch. I live on a seaside resort in a place called the Isle of Wight in England. And as we got down towards this Greasy Joe Cafe, some railway worker stopped me and started talking about football, because I was on the television talking about sport and stuff. And then after this conversation was finished, I saw that Gareth wasn't there. I knew where it would be. It would be in the news shop just down next to us. So I walked in, and he was reading the steam train books, because he likes steam trains, so like me. And I said to him, come on, Gaz, we'll go and get some lunch. And as I turned, my feet wouldn't move. Now, this is a guy who's not been into any of this stuff. He's a television presenter and national spokesman for the Green Party, a journalist, basically. And my feet wouldn't move. And I heard, well, it's really a voice, but a very strong thought form passed through my mind, which didn't seem attached to me. Why would I think it? And it said, go and look at the books on the far side. So I went over, and in among the romantic novels was this book with a woman's face on the front. And I picked it up because it was so different to the rest. Turned it over, saw the word psychic. So I read this book in 24 hours, and I wrote to her. I went to see her. And what I told her was, I had arthritis, which I have, and maybe her hands-on healing would help. I told her not the real reason I went, which was, would she pick up what the heck this presence is I've been feeling for nearly a year? Well, actually, for a year by then. And went to the first couple of times, and it saw her 4 times, and she did the hands-on healing, and we had a chat about other dimensions and stuff. All made sense to me, because I'd always rejected religion and always rejected the scientific view of reality. I just hadn't focused on what's okay, so what's the alternative. And then the 3rd time I went, I'm lying there on this medical type bench thing, and I felt like a spider's web on my face, which really took me aback, because I'd read in her book that when other dimensions, or whatever, spirits, or whatever you want to use, are trying to lock into you, you sometimes feel like a spider's web on your face. Well, funnily enough, I never had before, and I never have since, but at that moment, seriously powerful, real, tangible. So I'm going, oh my goodness me, what's going on? And she's kind of doing this by my left knee. And I never said a word to her. And then suddenly, she launches her head back and goes, my God, I've got to close my eyes for this one, this is powerful. And she sees this figure in her mind, she said, this figure's, or whatever she called it, is asking me to pass information to you. And take into account, you know, I'm a television presenter, presenting the sport and the news at the time. And suddenly she starts saying that this entity, or this projection of consciousness, was saying that I was going to go out on a world stage eventually and reveal great secrets. That there was a shadow across the world that had to be lifted, that there was going to be a spiritual revolution in my lifetime because of a vibrational change. That's why the first book I wrote was called Truth Vibrations, after that vibrational change. And that one line was, one man cannot change the world, but one man can communicate the message that will change the world. I would write 5 books in 3 years. And I'm sitting there thinking, I know nothing about this stuff. 5 books in 3 years, you must be having a laugh. You know, and this is all new to me. I wrote 5 books in 3 years to the month, and I didn't realize I'd done it until I realized it was 5 and then went back. It was 5 books to the month of 3 years from that time. And I went back another time and the next time, and there was some more. So I left and waited. Something felt right about it, even though my mind's going, what? What? Within weeks, the BBC had decided they weren't going to renew my contract, even though I was the youngest one in the department I was in by a mile, presenter. And it would seem that I would have had a lifetime, working lifetime future there. When I look back at that thought, my emotional chakra, you know, starts vibrating wildly. The thought of being in the media all my life, oh my God, when I look back, nightmare. Anyway, so now I'm out of work, but I feel I have to go with this. Unfortunately, I've always lived below my income, because I have a very, you know, I'm minimalist me. I'd rather have the money to go to India than a big house with a mortgage, you know. Anyway, so I had enough money to keep me going for a year. And then it all started. This synchronistic, almost daily, this daily journey through a maze. And when I started out, it was a thick maze. I had no idea what this was all about. I just felt I had to go with it. I didn't even know why I had to go with it. I just got to go with this. And what's happened is, it's like some force has been opening and closing doors. So I go down this road in a maze and not this one. And so coming round to, you know, answering your question directly, I just follow, and have followed now for nearly 20 years, this pulsing, this urging, this knowing that passes through me. I edit my life on the basis of that. Will you go here? Don't feel to. Will you go here? Yeah, I feel. I'll be there. And what has happened as a result of just doing that is I've walked into people, experiences, information, books, documents, which has taken me, when I look back, on a very specific journey. I've described it before as like you're trying to put a jigsaw puzzle together, and some force is handing you the pieces.
We feel the exact same way.
We've had the same experience.
Almost in the right order that you can encompass them in the picture most easily.